I'll turn mine on, we'll see.
Yeah, that should be fine. Tell me when you're ready.
All right, good work.
And checking audio, checking audio, checking audio.
Yeah.
That's it.
Something. You're out seeing interest from you. Or was like what it is. You are out there.
Got it. I've got a good feeling about this.
That right, yeah. Go.
All right, did it come through all right?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I know it's. Oh, that's better.
Yeah, you got headphones. That would
I sure do.
Yeah. The little windows are like.
Usually the chat will tell me if it's.
Right. And when I first saw where you asked.
The standard for picture. Oh my God, it's incredibly hot.
So she worked better. Yeah. Yeah. All right, give it a try.
Testing audio, testing audio. Testing audio. This has been a test of the audio.
Hearing things, but it's saying that it's making.
Not hearing things. There is a control on the speakers. You may need to turn it up on the headband itself. There might be a dial.
Okay, let me make sure this is seeing the mic.
Oh, yeah, that's good, yeah.
Yeah, it is doing the webcam as the mic. It's
Testing.
you're lighting up.
Yeah, I'm lighting up.
Send the request. Sure. There we go.
All right. How are we sounding? We're getting this sound pretty good. Is it clear? On the scale of 1. Testing.
She must have. I'm hearing Zoom and then the delayed YouTube stream. I'm like, what is happening? There you go.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I just knew this. Can you want to double check this? I don't know why.
Let's move down a little bit. I like a little bit of the podium in view. It just looks nice.
Yeah.
You see summer.
Good. Yeah, I'm safe.
Charlie Johnson guy. So, let's see.
Or like a side by side. I mean, this story we did. You have this here on. Or like. USB and it's.
Very good.
Although, what do you think? I think we should try it. We're in a right now. Recognition.
Why do you get it? Yeah.
Like that Gloria. It's
The house that's. You know, green screen.
I
have no idea why it's. I still.
It's just, yeah. So like it is looking.
I have.
So everything.
Right, and like, I can't switch the data. Always.
I guess like maybe with that, right? Like you guys can do a meeting or a see.
Yeah, I can't.
I think it
can view something.
Yes.
And you. I'm going to. How are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Oriented people.
All right. Love the computer. We have.
If you would set table and.
Yeah. Jay, well, let me just, so. Tony. Former tech chair. Former tech chair. Okay.
Let's do all.
Employee. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a Microsoft operation.
Very good. Excuse me, Steve.
That's funny. I was at no.
I hope you shared it.
Yeah, there's nothing in this.
Or whatever. Oh, yeah. Cargo as a whole. Old machine, it's the one he dated to allow him to do something.
Like, meaning, we had, like, I zoo.
Well, people, when they were talking about the old chair together, I don't know what person.
Like,
Passed
had
out
it.
with the group. Did an event.
And they were requiring a one-minute budget to fit it in. Very big.
It's not a lot.
So it's like, okay.
I wasn't that close.
It's like.
You know. Oh, yes, it came on.
So we ended up running it off like a laptop that happened to be logged in.
I think she was.
It wasn't the machine we complained
Hey, whatever.
about.
This was definitely nothing you ever have to consider when I was gas. 10 years ago. We might have to make two.
That was good.
Was it 10 years? Was I take her 10 years? I think it was. It was Jordan before me, right? Oh, yeah. The law. 12. Yeah, 10 years ago. And that's when I stopped. No, but it was 9 years, because that's when I became quite sure of that. And so but you were on this, yeah, just one. And then I ran the, you're I know, nobody.
Over. Yes, about me. And the water. Shut down. Yeah. Out. No, I didn't. Maybe. Yeah. And it's a heat. That's, yeah, it's. Hello, it's not happening. Yeah. Yeah. I got it.
Right, let's make it quick.
Wait, longer. Yeah.
Once every.
Hey,
Yes.
why was there text highlighted? I've heard like text that's like highlighted. Right. On the letter. And it was really, so yes. Have you seen a lot?
God, I can see it from here.
Yeah.
Think it's off.
Yeah.
When it's not doing it. It did not appear to be in the place. It just seems to be.
Where do you want to go read that? So everybody's folding right now. Comments everyone folding.
You do that.
It's
I can't.
let me stop that.
Yeah.
There's no sound.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our October Democrats meeting. Please go ahead and find your seat again. Thanks, everyone, for being here tonight. We've got a couple activities going on. We've got some envelope stuffing in the back of the room. Looks like all the chairs are filled there. Thanks to folks who are volunteering. Welcome to everyone else who's at the meeting tonight. As per our policy, if you prefer, please feel free to wear a mask. If you feel in any way immunocompromised, please feel free to observe a 6-foot distance between the other folks here. COVID is still a very real thing. Arlington Democrats is an open and welcoming committee. Everyone is welcome here, and we appreciate everyone coming out and attending this meeting tonight. Particularly the agenda tonight, as advertised, we did add one thing. We're going to have our DNC member Dave Lightman give us an update on the summer 2022 retreat shortly, and then hear about campaign. We are running in concurrence with the Young course, so I just want to acknowledge that, and if you celebrate, please wish everyone an easy fast and a good new year. Hopefully, some folks will be able to watch from home on Zoom. There we go. Yeah, I'm pushing the right one. Go. Can you advance one slide? Can you advance to the Susan one slide? Susan. We've had a tough couple of weeks. As everybody knows, on September 24th, we lost our very dear friend, Susan Landfield. She's precinct captain in Roslyn. Susan passed away from complications due to COVID. And Sam, do we have, is that slide still there? It wasn't the slide. I've got a copy down a couple quotes from Susan's Facebook page. A couple of our friends commented, thank you for being such a quality human being. I'm a better person for having met you and shared time with you. I'm so glad that we got this picture, which we had on our slide from the Women's March in 2017. 1 million people in DC, and I was lucky enough to spend it with you. And one friend is Susan. Another friend, I think it was Bernice, said, I always admired you. You were brilliantly smart. You were fiercely independent. You lived out your dreams. You spent your life trying to make this place a better world for everyone. You guys know Susan came to this committee in 2016 after the presidential primary. She really dove all into this committee and volunteered in every possible way on every campaign that occurred since that time, and was a very, very dear friend to many of us, and we will deeply miss her. I believe the service is on October 19th. The email did go out previously. I will send it out again. There is a Zoom option if you want to attend that way. You want to attend in person, it's at Temple Micah in DC. I hear that the parking is extremely limited in that location, so you might Uber or carpool or work some type of arrangement. We had another tragic loss on Sunday, and we did have a slide. So you were just there. Thanks. Right. Kenny Carter was so our Democratic Black Caucus of Arlington wrote a tribute to Kent, which is now up on our website. I will read that from the group. Kent was a father, a veteran, an accomplished real estate broker, an activist and community leader, well known for his dedication to and uplifting the Arlington community. As first vice president of the Arlington branch of the NAACP, Kent embodied the spirit, service, and worked tirelessly to advance the political, social, and economic welfare for people of color and all those impacted by injustice. He was a mentor and friend to many members of the Black Caucus. We will remember the countless hours Kent spent encouraging fellowship and investing in his community. His civic engagement and commitment to service was unparalleled and will never be forgotten. The Arlington community has truly lost one of our brightest stars, a loss that is unfathomable and echoes not only throughout Arlington, but throughout the entire Commonwealth of Virginia and beyond. Our deepest and most heartfelt sympathies go out to his family and all those who have the honor and privilege of calling him a friend. May God grant us all strength during this incredibly difficult time. Thank you for Democratic Black Caucus for those kind words. And now, if we can, I would like to observe a moment of silence for our two dear friends, Susan Landfield and Kent Carter. Thank you so much, everyone. All right, so second Saturday breakfast is coming up this Saturday. I believe our Dorsey for school board, Bethany Sutton, will be the featured speaker at that great event. If you've never been to the second Saturday breakfast, it's one of our nicer events. We did not have it during COVID, so it's rebuilding right now, but it's was a lot of fun when we did have it, and I think this is the third or fourth month we've had it back. So please go out to the second Saturday breakfast and hear from our incredible school board candidate. Now we have really fortunate to have the former tech chair of the Arlington Democrats, former tech chair of Democratic Party of Virginia, now current DNC member from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Dave Blackman's going to come up and give us an update on the DNC 2022 retreat. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Steve made me sound cooler than I am. When me and my fellow DNC elected reps were running, this was 2 years ago, we heard from everybody that you wanted more of this, that you wanted updates on what we were actually doing with the DNC as reps. So I'm making a concerted effort here. This is my third meeting in 2 weeks. I did Falls Church and I did Alexandria earlier so I want to do this every time we have a DNC meeting. I want to do the rounds for the Northern Virginia committees and make sure that everybody knows. So first of all, who knows what a DNC rep does or is? Wow. Okay, good. Yeah. See, I made this mistake at Alexandria. I just launched right into it. I should actually explain what it is. So every 4 years, the convention of the state party. So that's what the body that authorizes the state party. The big convention gets together. There's about 2,000 people who want to participate, and they essentially elect the state party, and that's how the state party is authorized to operate for 4 years. One of the things they do is they also elect DNC members. Or the DNC members there's 5 of us, all 5 elected reps. Myself, Atima Amara, Josh Cole, who is running again, right? Yeah. Delegate Liz Guzman, and Doris Krause-Mays, who is the president of AFL-CIO of Virginia. We are your elected reps, and we are the official representatives of the Virginia State Party to the national party. So when people say the DNC or the Democratic Party, what it actually means is a very similar body to sitting here and voting, right? The members of Arlington, like we are the members of the national committee, and we have to vote on everything. So the big things that we voted on so there was a meeting on September 22nd. Yeah, at National Harbor. So Maryland Dems hosted us at National Harbor, and that was we have a meeting like every 6 months. And usually this meeting is somewhere else, but we really haven't recovered from COVID yet. So they held it here in the DC area, and then the winter meeting is always in DC, like it'll be February, March, something like that. So the things we voted on were, well, it's crazy to think about, but the primary is actually only 17 months away. You get through it, yeah. So we actually authorized the primary process. That was one of the big things that we had to do. So we allowed the DNC to proceed with the primary process, and what that's going to look like is, for folks who don't know, the states all got to apply to go first. So about 23 states all applied to go first, and the DNC is going to pick 5 states to be the first states, and they're all going to go together, which is kind of wild, right? This is a new frontier. When I ran, I was very adamant with everybody I talked to that Iowa will not go first. Fortunately, I have advocacy around that issue because it sounds like everyone's on board. Yes. So expect this. I'm guessing that it's going to be something like Nevada, South Carolina, New Hampshire, Michigan, and something else is right, Arizona, but it'll be something like that, right? And the Rules and Bylaws Committee, which is the actual power of the DNC, the people who are important and get to vote on the important stuff, including our chair, Susan Swecker, our state party chair. They're voting in December on those first 5 states, and then we'll authorize them at the winter meeting. Yes. The other thing we did was we voted for the call to convention, because the convention's only 2 years away. So we issued a call to convention for 2024, and the DNC is now authorized to pick a location. The staff and the Rules of Bylaws Committee is going to pick a location, and the 4 bid cities. There's 4 cities put in bids: New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and Houston. So one of the big parts of the meeting was they were like whining and dining us, trying to get us to pick their city, like to favor their city, right? So they had like Common was there representing Chicago, and Mayor Adams came to represent Houston. It was fun, but yeah, and so the other stuff like that happened at the meeting. I mean, I don't want to belabor it for you, but the other stuff is like Biden came and spoke, Vice President Harris came and spoke, and they took a jury lap on the Inflation Reduction Act, right? And I think that's important. Like, it was deserved. We have had a summer of incredible legislation, bipartisan legislation, win after win, and it was a great opportunity for everybody to get together and say, like, these are the things we've done as a party, and they deserve celebration, and they deserve to be touted ahead of this midterm so that people know and can vote for it. So I'll leave it at that, and just to say, like, those are the things that are coming up. That's the stuff we talked about, the stuff we've done. I wanted to open it, like, I don't know, I don't want to like take too much time, but does anybody have any questions about the DNC? Like what we did? Charlie Conrad. No, the Rules and Bylaws Committee spent the whole summer holding listening sessions. So PB gave testimony. I submitted testimony. They didn't let me talk in front of the committee because I think but I submitted testimony about Iowa being cybersecure. Yes, that a party had no business running for a presidential nomination. They heard all that testimony. They had expert witnesses, and so they'll vote on it in December at the RBC meeting. So in December. Yeah.
Any discussion on the strategy of those cities, like something New State or Illinois or everything, swing states, but I don't for
the convention matters as much as you think it does. And symbolically, it's nice, right? And I think I would guess Chicago already seems bigger in Chicago because we've never had a bad chance to convention in Chicago, right? Good luck. But look, I mean, stars align and Stacey Abrams wins. Yeah, it'll probably be in Atlanta. If the Red Sea parts of that wins, yeah, it'll probably be in Houston. But I think we'll probably say Chicago. But I do make this.
You guys talk about any issues at all in the DNC, or is that
Any issue? So yeah, we did. We actually had an amazing presentation from several pollsters. Selena Lake, who somebody might know, she's a really famous data strategist. She gave us a whole presentation on polling and messaging, and I mean,
it's obvious, right? Like you shouldn't have, like, I don't have to stand up here and tell you that women's right to choose is like the motivating factor here. But it was interesting to hear the finer points of it, right? She made it really clear that people don't want to be scared. They want urgency. They want to worry. You want to worry them. You just want to say, like, look, things are going to get bad. Things have potential to get bad. Republicans are coming for your rights, right? Not Republicans are trying to destroy democracy and end the war. That's bad messaging because that actually turns voters off and makes them go. Yeah. But it was interesting to hear that, right? Like you have to create urgency without creating fear.
Was there anything on climate or Manchin's dirty deal?
Well,
How to keep it off the,
I think it's not in the bill anymore, so it doesn't matter. It's moving. Yes, there was. There were lots of protests. This always happens at every DNC meeting. So there's large groups of people who had their particular issues and there's protest like that. So there was a billboard driving by the meeting that said stop certainty. So not saying I should feel about that, but it's out of the building.
What happened with the resolution talking about the tax and other outside money weighing in on that? Because I know there was some discussion among the ranks, but it seemed like it wasn't best afterwards.
Yeah, I'll eye roll on that. Like, there were 3 different resolutions, all saying slightly different things. Chair Harrison had a resolution saying something to the effect of that the party should move away from accepting dark money, essentially, right? and that sunlighting dark money is the best policy. That was the resolution that eventually passed. What didn't pass was a resolution stating that the Democratic Party would no longer accept C4 money, which I think for folks who worked in Virginia for a long time, that would be debilitating. I mean, that would destroy our entire program because in the odd years, we're allowed to coordinate with the outside groups like Virginia New Majority, which is C4. And that would prevent us from doing that. So that was a silly resolution. And when I explained it to people, they were like, "Oh, that is silly. Will you support it?" And I was like, "Oh, I had that exact conversation with several Virginia activists.
Is there any coordination between the DNC and the DSCC and the DCCC?
Short answer, yes. Long answer is not as much as I'd like there to be. Look, the D-Trip and the DS were on the show this year, and that's how it usually is in the midterms. The DNC does play a coordinating role. They do put money into states that they feel they need to, but it's not as much as in a presidential year where the DNC is the main vehicle for raising money for the presidential, right? I mean, yeah.
What about DLCC? I heard that there was not much of the way of Monday government seeing that.
I honestly don't know. Can't speak to that intelligently. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I hope you found that useful, and I'm happy to come and do this every time you take questions.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Dave Lightman, for that great update. All right, we do have one officer appointment to approve. It's Yen, you for our AAPI caucus co-chair. Do I have a motion to approve? Thank you so much. Do I have a second? Thank you so much. All those in, and I guess on the Zoom meeting, you can do a show of hands. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seems like the ayes have it.
No, I'm opposed.
Thanks so much.
I'm opposed.
I'm sorry.
I'm opposed.
Bam, there you go. All right, next up, you should have gotten this in your email notice that went out yesterday. We've got a resolution supporting trans youth and the APS model policy. Not our current governor, Glenn Youngkin's presumed revised policy. And I did go ahead and put the whole resolution on the slides if you care to read these. And if you still have the attachment, the document that I shared, please feel free to refer to that, whereas 2021, Junior Department of Education, issue model policies, support transgender students, honor their legal rights, whereas Arlington Public Schools, thanking the school board member Barbara Cannon, first had gender identity, so it's non-discrimination policy in 2015, later adopted implementation procedures, guidance, support transgender students, 2021, BDOE model policies, whereas additional school boards in the state have also done the same. The rest face requirement, they do so during the current school year, whereas under Governor Youngkin, BDOE has now withdrawn the 2021 model policies and proposed substituting new model policies that would make it more difficult for transgender students to use their name and gender identity and to access gender-based school facilities consistent with their gender identity. Whereas the new model policies would violate the legal rights of transgender students, whereas the new model policies would create fear and distress among transgender students, whereas the new model policies could increase the number of attempted suicides among transgender students, similar rules are done elsewhere in the country. Whereas Arlington Public Schools has announced that they will continue to abide by their current policies and procedures as well as current federal and state law to ensure that transgender students are treated with dignity and respect while having equal access to a quality education. And whereas the new model policies constitute yet another effort by Governor Youngkin to intensify the cultural wars that they're dividing our country, all in the service of a political gain. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Arlington County Democratic Committee opposes adoption by the Virginia Department of Education of the new model policies for treatment of transgender students. Department announced on September 16, 2022, resolved further that Arlington County Democratic Committee supports the immediate restoration of the model policies previously in place, which were withdrawn by the Department of Education on September 16, 2022. Resolved further that the Arlington County Democratic Committee will submit this resolution to the Virginia Department of Education in response to the Virginia Department of Education's request. A public comment on its new model policies passed and approved this 5th day of October, which with your vote, if it's forthcoming. October 2022 by the Arlington County Democratic Committee. I did comment earlier today on the state site for comment. A lot of friendly comments up there on our side of the argument. So I will send that link around for people if you have not already done so. Craig Hines, so move.
Second.
Where the second come from? Bob, thank you so much, Bob. And I think we have a Zoom poll for this one. If we can launch the poll, go ahead and do so. Oh, I see you got it there. All those in favor of the resolution? Aye. Any opposed? And 11, 12 yeses. How many people have on Zoom now? 23. Sorry, two people that step away from coffee. I think we have an overwhelming majority. Andrew.
Question, what happened to it now that it's approved? What happened to the ones we approved last round?
So great question. We are going to put it up on our website. We are going to, and you can go ahead and close the poll. We will submit this resolution on the VDOE's response site. So we will send it to the state in that manner.
Do you know if there's any updates on what the state did with the last batch from?
I do not have that update for you at this time. No. But thank you for the question. And thank everyone in the committee for voting to support previous policy enacted by our terrific school board, who continues to do a great job for our students that are on there. All right, next up, we're gonna have our joint campaign update. Matt, thank you. Love that t-shirt. Thank you. It's a good segue.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right. How's everybody doing?
My name is Matt Royer. I am the joint campaign co-chair along with Takis Karantonis. Did I lose him? I think I did.
He's stuffing in the back.
Oh, there he is. Oh, that, just like a good co-chair, just getting to work doing stuff. I appreciate that. Also Praveen Mann and Karen Isabel Rivera, who cannot be here tonight, but we appreciate their help as always. If you want to go to the next slide. Just to update where we have what we've been doing. We honored our distinguished Dems, Craig Hines and Margaret Hobart, for their years of service to the Arlington. I think we all can say we are Hines and Hobart Democrats in this room at this point. So I appreciate all the work that you've been doing. We had great attendance. We had all our candidates come and speak to everyone over at Crystal City, and we really appreciate our hosts. Next slide. We also, this past Saturday, we had the great AYD Oktoberfest, which I'm sure they will also be talking about when they come up here, but it was a great time. The first year that we had bingo, so that was a good time. But we did that over at Continental, where they hosted us for a number of years when it comes to Oktoberfest. So we really appreciate their hospitality and all the great service we got. Next slide. We still have one more event, so you can still buy your ticket to the Golden Gala, which will be coming up on the 15th. We will have the new minority leader of the Virginia House, Don Scott, will be there, and we will have all of our candidates, barring, except for Congressman Byer, who sends his regrets that he's not able to join us at that time, but we will obviously still be out there to support him. So yes, you can still buy your ticket. I would be remiss if I would not tell you to do that. We still need money to support all of our great candidates. We're still out on the doors, and we're going to be needing a lot of push on the polls when we get to the when we are both now in early voting and later on election day. So that material ain't cheap, so we need the money. So buy your ticket, buy your ticket, buy your ticket. I think I can say it a few more times. Next slide. Yes, and if you can't go to the event, or if you don't want to go to the, you can also donate to us on the Dollars for Dems. That is arlingtondemocrats.org/donate/dollars for Dems. You can donate as much as you want. You can donate $1, you can donate $1,000. It doesn't matter. We will take any amount that you want to donate. But as long as you donate money, it is going to a good cause when it comes to electing Democrats here in Arlington County. Next slide. Yes, we had our meeting signs out thanks to Carol Burnett and Mark Teal for all the work that they did. I want to point out one operative word here. Legally. We had all of our signs legally posted on the medians. We had gotten some folks who've been telling us that they've seen some Republican signs in various places and they don't see Democratic signs. That's not by mistake, that's on purpose, because you can't put signs there, and we don't want to get in trouble with the county or fined or anything like that. So we're going to continue to put signs up at polling stations, early polling stations when those open up, the satellite sites, but also on election day as well. If you see any of the signs damaged or anything like that, please let us know, and we'll try to get out there and replace them. Mark has been doing a great job keeping tabs of how much we have left, so I'm sure we'll be fine when it comes to replacing those. And thanks again to all of our volunteers who did that on September 10th and September 9th and September 10th. We really appreciate that. Next slide. And thank you to everyone. We have delivered all of our messengers, or we have all of the routes assigned. That's 65,000 messengers out to voters across Arlington County. So that is really bolstering our field operations, since that has all the information on voting, on all three of our candidates who have given us statements that we put into that, and then also the bond referenda that is also on your ballot on November 8th. So we put all that together. We put those on people's doors. I got mine on my door, I think the first day that happened. I think it's because I live around where Carol Burnett lives, and she was on the door immediately. So I appreciate that, but yeah, it's a lot of work went into putting that together and making sure that y'all had the amount of information you needed in the smallest compact way we could do it. So appreciate that, and I appreciate Sarah, the work that you've been doing to coordinate all that. So thank you, precinct officer. But still have time, you can still help us. We need people to knock on doors every weekend from now until election day. Mark has been launching people from his house, and I think it was whose house has it been down in South Arlington? Natalie Hall has been launching from her house in South Arlington every week, very steadily. I've been seeing the numbers come in. We have people working out really, really hard every single day of the week, it seems like. I think Mary Detweiler has been out there almost every day of the week, so we appreciate her knocking on those doors and talking to voters. It is incredibly important that we get in front of voters and talk to them face to face. The messengers are great, the mail is great, the ads are great, but nothing really replaces the face-to-face conversations that you have on the doors with voters, because you can really take someone from being on the edge and being on the fence when it comes to voting to actually going out and voting for Democrats. So that is incredibly important. We pride ourselves on the amount of doors that we knock every year. That's why we send people out of county to go out to beyond Arlington, because we do it so well here. So we want to be continuing that continuing that reputation. And please, if you haven't already, at least just take one walk packet. It's one afternoon, one weekend day that you can take just to go and talk to folks, and most people are pretty nice to you, so we like to have those conversations. So yes, if you want to, I made a bit.ly link that goes to the Mobilize, which has been graciously supplied to us by the D4Anti campaign. There you can sign up for almost any hour of any day of the week that is reasonable. We have put those out there so that you can you're not beholden to maybe one Saturday or one Sunday. If you want to go on a weekday afternoon, you can do that. So that's bit.ly/canvas JCC 22. So if you want to sign up, please do so. We are really, really, really appreciative of all the time that you put into that. So once again, please buy your ticket to the Golden Gala. I would greatly appreciate the money that you would donate there. Donate to Dollars for Dems if you can attend. And if you can't donate your time, donate your money. If you can't donate your money, donate your time. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Protect trans kids. Thank you.
Are you making this one together?
All right. Thank you, Matt.
All right. Hello, everyone. If we haven't met by now, my name is Tony, and I'm the vice chair here for voter support. Kevin is out with COVID, so send him all your well wishes here. He's doing all right. He's getting there, but for now, you have to deal with me tonight. So if you go to the next slide, please. So I'm sure you all are aware of what we generally do. Go back. So we're the people who stand outside the polls at 3 sites: early voting, courthouse, Walter Reed Rec Center, and Madison Community Center. And ballots, things of that nature. And we're really getting a lot of volunteer sign-ups, listing development. Of course, we can always use more, particularly over at Madison Community Center site. We have some interest, but we need somebody to sort of anchor that site, sort of hold supplies, things of that nature. Oh, should I go closer? Yes. Is that better? Oh my God. But anyway, so we're looking to get more volunteers over at the Madison Center, because it really is important that we support all of our candidates who share our Democratic Party values. And up to October 17th, we're still going to be running voter registration at the same time. And I've done this before, and there's something about it. When you just register somebody to vote, it's like, okay, this person was not going to do this, and now they are, and now they might have a chance to So it's very important work we're doing and really loving them out. Obviously, we have this ride, right, Democrats.org. And if you have any questions for us, and if you would love to anchor us over the Mass Community Center site, send us an email at photosupport@arldems.org. I see a question.
A question about voter registration.
Yes.
I think of in the old days when you had to carry out forms and stuff, but it's all online, isn't it?
So I believe we do both, but there is, we're working a lot with QR codes, and online sort of things, so there is an online option, but we do have the physical form as well.
Is that anything anybody can do, or do you have to be trained to do it? I'm thinking
So
about
we-
my precinct. And I-
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, you're not registered, here you go.
Sure, we do offer training sort of sessions on that, but yeah. You better go to the training, but yeah, it's not.
I mean, is it anything more than just pointing them to that website?
No.
Have them go,
It's not rocket.
okay.
All right, any other questions? All right, well, thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you next time.
Take this out for full range of motion here, because we've got a lot to talk about. The election is in 33 days. So let's go to the next slide. First, I want to get some business out of the way before we get into all the meat. We are really excited to bring on 3 new precinct captains this month. Always recruiting new folks, and I think 2 of them are here in the audience today. So we have Elena Fierro joining us in Barcroft, and then the dynamic duo of Lori and Brad Sakaguchi in Clarendon. I'm looking for a motion to elect these folks. I can get from Evan. Is there a second?
Second.
There is. All those in favor? I dare you to oppose. Okay, congrats to Lori and Brad and to Elena here. Thanks for coming up. Okay, so Matt did a great job of covering the master, but I just want to highlight again, I have a copy in here if you want to take a look at it. It's truly an incredible piece of literature, and a huge thanks to Matt for designing it. Just a massive round of applause for our precinct captains who have gotten well. One thing Matt I don't think mentioned is that we are sending out a mailer to a very targeted list of folks who live in MUBs. Those are traditionally folks who are really hard to reach. So I think just over 5,000 voters will have these arrive in their mailboxes in the next couple of weeks. And it has all the same information on here, just in this beautifully designed mailer form. So we're really, really excited about that. And I also just wanted to give a huge shout out to Fran, Howard, our messenger bundling team. It's not easy to put 65,000 of these into one. And to Carol Burnett, who personally delivered thousands. That's an exaggeration, but if you know Carol, it's not really. So big round of applause for them. From that is the way the real fun begins, and that is poll reading for Election Day. And if you've been in Arlington County for Election Day before, the poll readers are the people who are in our nifty blue reflector vests from 5:30 in the morning until 7 p.m. at night, passing out Democratic sample ballots to every single voter who goes into the polling place. In Arlington, we assume you are a Democrat until proven Republican. So we're passing these out, and those are extremely, they know our local candidates are not listed by party affiliation on the ballot. So we want to make sure that Bethany and Matt get every last Democratic vote. We have to have continuous coverage at those polling places. So if you're a precinct captain in the audience right now, this is just a very friendly, gentle reminder that your poll reader spreadsheet needs to be filled out by next Monday. I see a lot of y'all, and I'm thrilled with progress on that. But just a reminder there. And then we're going to offer poll reader training on 8 different days, starting in just a couple of weeks and going through the first week of November. And we'll be sending out those links to every person who signed up to poll read after that October 10th deadline. So if people are nervous because they've never done it, there's no reason to be. We will train them and get them all ready to go. And this is just a reminder that if you don't think you need the training, encouraging you to come anyway, because we have this great new thing this year called same day voter registration, thanks to Democrats. So we will get training the round. So that's just one thing we need to train our poll readers on, and no one in here has been in Arlington for that before, so that's why I want to see everyone at that poll reader training. And I'm saying I want to see everyone at that poll reader training because I want to see everyone in here take a shift for election day. To recruit all 700 of these volunteers, we are starting a huge campaign to reach pretty much every person with a pulse in a 30-mile radius of Arlington. So huge thanks to Comms for creating these wonderful graphics that you'll be seeing on Instagram, probably Twitter, definitely Facebook over the next month. I saw the first one on Instagram today and it looks awesome. We're also reaching out to college area Dems, and I sent 3 emails to high school Dems today to the club. So we're looking to get anyone out on November 8th. Next slide, please. We're also having a conversation with our county board members, Matt and Takis, this Sunday. So if you're a precinct captain, and only if you're a precinct captain or precinct leader, we're inviting you to come to this conversation so that you can have the tools you need to talk about missing middle with voters and your neighbors. I think it's going to be a really good chance to learn about this nuanced issue. So if you're a precinct captain and you haven't registered for that, just find me and I'll email you the link. And then finally, I want to highlight our precinct ops members of the month. We're doing 2 because they're such a fantastic team. Rachel Bondera and Julie Atkins and Marshall are our members of the month. Huge round of applause for them, please. They were the first group to fill out all of their messenger routes and to fill out their poll reader spreadsheet. And this is just a reminder that if you want to be my favorite person on the planet, you'll have your poll reader spreadsheet complete by Monday. So that is all for me. Are there any questions? I know I covered a lot. I will say that I know a lot of attention is focused, rightfully so, on Beyond Arlington and all the great work they're doing in those really competitive races. But come November 8th, I don't think a lot of folks will be driving to Virginia Beach, or we might be looking for something to do in Arlington on election day. And that thing is poll reading. So if you have signed for a shift, please take one. Now I'll take questions. Ready? Yes, sure.
I remember, and I received a poster that could be posted on early voting. And I just want to thank you, Lucy. It's very helpful. And maybe looking for, for the election that we can modify for our precinct.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's voter support. So shout out to voter support. Any other guests? Well,
What are you area of the targeted funds?
so that's a great question. And I think, Matt, do you want to answer how we targeted the list?
But the majority of folks that we have are not, or them, or Republicans, or somewhere in the middle where we're trying to weigh them up. So pretty much almost every single multi-unit building in the county will have at least a few apartments that are going to be at some point.
Yeah, and I think that's just like it's kind of a waste to send it to anyone in this room. I think we all know that November 8th we're voting. It's kind of a waste to send it to someone who's for sure voting for Donald Trump, that kind of person. So it's a play targeted list, but it's I think a really good list, and it'll be going to, like Matt said, at least a couple voters in each mode. Any other questions?
And I think also, Matt, we did target additionally some of the models that we were trying to target in the school board endorsement process.
Yeah,
Those things to send you the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, those buildings are all on that. We're going back.
Any other questions? Okay, sign up for poll readership. Thank y'all so much.
Biggest job we do all year. I just want to recap before we bring the AYDs. Sorry, Dylan. We covered a lot of territory. So in the email I sent out last night, there should have been a sign up link for the poll grading shifts and for early poll grading. So if you have a chance, please go to that sign up link and sign up for a shift. We should also have a canvassing sign up paper list in the back of the room. If you're so inclined and you're here, you're thinking of it, please feel free to sign up for a canvas shift, corner forms at the back of the room. I think, Matt, how many doors have we hit so far?
Just over 4,000.
Just over 4,000. I think we've got about 16,000 door hangers total. So down to 12. We want to definitely kind of crank through that list. Please, everyone, if you have not already canvassed in Arlington, sign up for a shift and do so. I canvassed last weekend in Madison precinct, and it was a reasonably safe experience. Always enjoy getting out and talking to our Arlington voters. There's always an opinion, always conversation back and forth. But look, it's great talking to voters, great letting people know about the election. And I've got an awful lot of support for all of our candidates, school board, Bethany Sutton, county board, Matthew Branty, and of course for our congressman. So do not hesitate to get out there in Arlington. It was a little bit rainy on Saturday, but that's even just a better time to find people at home. Don't shy away from it, and thank everyone for all the hard work you're doing there. Matt was also correct in that we're still raising monies to pay for all these materials. I think last Friday you got a pretty long email at the bottom of which there was an ask. If you haven't sent in your dollars for Dems envelope yet, please do so. If you have that email sitting in your inbox, don't hesitate, and you've already given, don't hesitate to go back and find that email and just ship it a little bit more if you're able to. The messenger, the grip card, the sample ballot, all these things cost a lot of funds, and we need to raise some money in order to pay for them and leave the committee in a good position for next year, so that we can continue to do the types of things that we really want to do this committee. I'll leave it at that for now. And everyone's excited to hear what the young Democrats have to say.
All right, so let me just put my laptop. Okay, so in September, AYD had our Foreign Policy Forum and Resolutions meeting on September 21st. A special thank you to our panelists, Arash Azizi, a PhD candidate in history at NYU and author of The Shadow Commander, Soleimani, the US and Iran's Global Ambitions, as well as Abe Silverstein, a freelance writer and commentator on Israeli politics and US-Israel relations. And finally, Ali Wynn, an author and expert within the field of Eurasian affairs. We also passed 2 resolutions, one on gun reform and another on reproductive rights.
Okay, next slide.
We also had a trivia night happy hour over at the boardroom in Clarendon. I think we came in 9th out of about 20 teams, but we had a great time, and thank you to everyone who came out.
Oh, great.
Next up is a canvassing update. So we have our canvassing kickoff on September 3rd in Arlington. We also canvassed in Prince William County for Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger on September 10th. Canvassed in Hampton Roads for Congresswoman Elaine Luria, September 16th through 18th, and had another Arlington canvass on September 25th. And then we had an Oktoberfest just this past weekend. We had a fantastic time at the Continental Pool Lounge over in Roslyn. A special thank you to our speakers, County Board Member Matt DeFronte and School Board Candidate Bethany Sutton. And congrats again to our bingo winners. And thank you to all our volunteers who made this event possible. October is a very busy month. So we have a voter registration event with ArlDems Women Caucus on October 9th at 10 a.m. If you are interested, please feel free to email me at president@arlingtonyoungdems.org or come up to me after the meeting. There's also the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration with ArlDems Latino Caucus on October 9th at 1 p.m. I believe Kevin has a bunch of invitations to everyone, and you can scan that if you are so inclined to volunteer. Then there's the Golden Gala on October 15th at 7 p.m. As you see here, oh, it's not there. There was a QR code on this slide, but it's not on there. So if you're interested in volunteering, please reach out to Kenya Pennington at community@arlingtonyoungguns.org. Or you can also come up to me after the meeting. Then we have a canvas for Jennifer Weston with the AAB on October 16th. More details on meetup.time.com. A phone bank with the AYD on October 20th at around 6 p.m. I believe. And AYD canvas to Pennsylvania for Fetterman on October 22nd. Then there's the ArlDems ABI Caucus Diwali celebration on October 23rd that we're helping out with 1 p.m. Then we will be having a Halloween happy hour on October 25th. It's not the 27th, it's 25th. And finally, rounding out the month on October 29th, we will be doing another canvas for Abigail Stanberg. Now, before I conclude tonight, I just want to again extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends of both Kent Carter and Susan Hill. As we heard tonight, Kent was an incredible leader in the community who strived to effect positive change. He was on our Black Excellence panel in February this past year and has participated in several other panels with us in the past and has always imparted knowledge and wisdom. This tragic loss is deeply felt and we're here to support however we can during this time. You will be deeply missed. Susan Landfield, who I first met on Matt DeFrance's campaign 4 years ago, was such a loyal and fierce volunteer. If there was an event happening, you were sure to see her there, and she always offered a friendly way. Our thoughts are with her and her family during this time. So please be gentle with yourselves during this hard time, lean on your support networks, and let your friends and family know that you love them. Thank you.
All right, that's the year. We of course we're only a little more than a month away from election day. We have two very competitive races here in Virginia. We've got numerous competitive races all over the country. So I hope you're ready and willing to give your labor over the next few weeks. We of course are doing in-person canvassing and phone banking and text banking and so on. So the person who's been doing most work for, of course, is Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger. If you watch TV at all, you're now aware that national Republican money is coming into this campaign. So our standard canvas has been 10 a.m. on Saturdays in Woodbridge, and we're still going to be there, but there are now 2 other slots on Saturdays to go to Woodbridge. There's weekday canvassing 4 days a week in Woodbridge, I believe at their new headquarters for Prince William County. There will be the monthly Latino canvas this weekend, also at the headquarters in Woodbridge. There are canvases and humphreys on Saturday and Sunday, as well, of course, as opportunities to make phone calls and texts. We're now getting into the get out the vote period of the campaign, so you're really needed out there on the doors. Not only are we looking for volunteers to canvass, we really could use some volunteer drivers. So just dropping a line at beyond@arlingtondemocrats.org. We really could use your help. We have a lot of excited young people in the district who want to come out to Virginia and help, but they don't always have cars. So we really appreciate it.
We went down again for Elaine Luria, last month, after going there in, July. There are gonna be more people going down for Elaine, this weekend, though most of us will be, working crab again. And we are going back to Pennsylvania later this month, on the 22nd and 23rd, we're going back to Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We'll be able to compensate you for gas, and we should be able to provide housing, so don't let costs be an object. And then, of course, we have a wide variety of opportunities to make phone calls and send texts. Pretty much all the most competitive states in the country, as well, of course, for Elaine and Abigail. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you out in the doors.
The Urbana Oyster Festival on November the 5th. It's a Saturday just before Election Day, and Urbana is just above District 2. There's people from all over the state that come to that thing. I just didn't know if there's something to consider to have some glory of it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I have heard of that festival before, but thank you for reminding me. Thank you.
And Richard, you got a big event coming up on October 15th with the DC College Day.
Correct. We really use his help with drivers next weekend to make sure all those bright young volunteers make it across the Potomac in one piece.
And how can people sign up for that?
Just send me an email at beyond@arlingtondemocrats.org and I'll take care of the rest.
Hi, good evening. Good evening. So the Outreach and Disability Committee would also like to extend our condolences to the families of Susan Landfield and Kent Howard. We of course spent time with Kent Howard at the Juneteenth event, and Susan Landfield. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay. So we just wanted to extend our condolences as well to the families of Kent Howard and Susan Landfield, and we spent time with. Can you hear me now? Kent Howard joined us at the Juneteenth.
Carter. His last name is Carter.
I said Carter.
Howard.
Okay, sorry, it's muffled, but it's Carter. And Susan Landfield, of course, was our liaison to the Virginia Grassroots Coalition, and in addition to innumerable different volunteer roles that she played throughout our committee. Okay, so we're just going to try to present some highlights of what we've been working on and different types of activities to show the range of what Outreach and Visibility is doing every week. Okay, so just to highlight a few recent events. The Black Caucus had a happy hour at Guapos in Charlottesville, which was a great turnout, great event. It was attended by County Board candidate Magid Ferranti. And then the Equality Caucus also recently had an event at Freddie's Beach Bar. And Magid Ferranti was also a guest, and State Senator Adam Evan was present as well. We, of course, also on September 18th, we had a couple of events. The Disabilities Caucus had a meeting in which Matt Ferranti was also able to answer questions on policy issues. And the Blue Families annual potluck picnic was also a great way to bring out people of different volunteers and families, different generations. This doesn't capture everything we're doing. Some of the things have been highlighted where we are partnering with other parts of the committee, but Blue Families wanted to highlight that the last week for GOTV postcards for Representatives Luria and for Georgia. So this is where you can get more information Of course, there's the Pennsylvania trip that's coming up that Richard mentioned. Ask for volunteer housing. And then I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Hey, everybody, good evening. Just wanted to mention again, I'm sure you've seen the flyer that I passed out to everybody a little bit earlier, but we are doing our second annual Hispanic Heritage Month celebration this Sunday right here at this community center, guys. We hope what's going on for another 2 years, another 2 years, another 2 years after that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If you were there last year, we had a lot of music and dancing and food. We're hoping to do a lot of the same this year, but at a nice newer location. The other really exciting thing as well is that we are going to be presenting community leader awards to 3 advocates in the community who have just performed a great deal of service on behalf of the Latino community here in Arlington. I'm sure you all will be familiar with some of its names. Our 3 awardees this year are Saul Reyes, Elder Julio Basurto, and Kathleen McSweeney. So please, if you know them, or if you just want to come and hang out with us, come on out, have a good time and celebrate with us. Last thing, we need volunteers. We're hoping to have 15 people with us to help get this thing going. So if you have any time on Sunday, you don't have to be there the whole time, but we would love to have you there for part of it. So please sign up. Thank you very much.
And small mushroom too. Okay, so it is also Diwali time. Did anybody go to Diwali last year? Raise your hand. Yes, okay, there's not enough hands in the room. So that means you have to come to this year's Diwali. This is the second annual Diwali event we're doing. There's live music, live Indian dancers. We'll have an Indian food truck. And then we're also trying to get some vendors, like henna artists, Indian jewelry sellers. Matt DePronti is confirmed, and we're just spoken to Bethany about it, and we're also working with Congresswoman Byers' team. So next slide, please. So if anyone is interested in attending a caucus meeting, we have several coming up. As you can see, Labor Caucus, Women's Caucus, Interfaith, Disability, Women's, and Labor. Okay, next slide, please. Community service. So the Black Caucus did a back to school drive for Drew Elementary, which lasted a whole month. It was very successful. Also not mentioned on here, led by Julie, we did a women's drive for doorways, and I dropped off the stuff. And Julie, we continue doing that? Yeah. Okay, great. So it's paper towels, right? Diapers, trash bag, Dawn liquid soap. Yeah. So if anybody would like to donate for doorways, please come see Julie or myself. And then the next slide, please. Okay, calls to action, resolution, and activism. Labor has a Union Strong coffee that's from Starbucks at 2200 Clarendon Boulevard, and then Interfaith condemning Iran's murder of Mahsa Amini. That's all I have.
What?
I can get to it if you stall.
Yeah. Diwali is October 23rd. I went at Bluemont Park. I went last year. It was a phenomenal event. You don't want to miss it this year. Please, everyone, go to Diwali. And I know I'm going to see everybody at the Hispanic Heritage Month event on Sunday, because it does not conflict with your precinct captain meeting with Nancy Durante. You can go to Hispanic Heritage Celebration on 4 and then make it to your precinct training at 5. And there's no better way to spend your Sunday than I could possibly think of. So, Tony?
What time was Diwali?
What time is Diwali?
2 to 5.
2 to 5. On October.
And programming will start right at 2. So
Yeah. Really exciting programming last year. It was a lot of fun. Seriously, it did not make it last year. You do want to attend.
I have to second that, it was great.
Good, thank you, Mark.
I think we have a number of our caucus chairs here today. If you're a caucus chair, please raise your hand. I see Julie. Kevin's here, Laura's here. Charlie Conrad, back of the room. Thank you guys for being here. Looks like we're gonna finish up a little bit early tonight. Hang on, Bob. So if you have not met with any of these caucus chairs previously, and you're interested in the work they're doing, and I think they're doing some of the most exciting work that our committee has right now, I want everyone to take a moment, introduce yourselves to them, and find out what they're doing and how you can participate. So Bob's going to go up first. Bob, what do you got? If you can stick around and help us up envelopes, please do so. I see people moving there right now. Julie, I'm sorry, I just. Hang on, everyone.
The next Women's Caucus meeting is gonna be November 1st. Also, we have a voter registration drive at Highland City in front of the Whole Foods this Sunday from 10 to 1 to not conflict or do activities in the afternoon on Monday. And then on the 20th, we're gonna have a panel discussion to discuss the broader implications for dog conditions. We're doing that jointly with the Equality Caucus and Disability Caucus. It's tentatively going to be at the Fairlington Center, Community Center, but we'll send out messages and communications on that as we get closer to the date.
Any questions on the floor?
Alexa. They go up here for the ad.
Oh, was that the district election? So, Brian Coleman won the 8th district, election and will be joining us this Saturday at his first state central meeting in Fredericksburg. We did have, and just to pause everyone for a moment, we did have 2 Susan Landfill slides. I'm so sorry we were not able to get those up beginning of the meeting. But people sent in some pictures of Susan and the work she's done with it. Here's a much younger version of Susan that we're familiar with. But a lovely person. Here she was in Rago County. Just so many fond memories of the work we did with Susan, the Women's March 2016, helping Carissa, helping Wofa, helping families, helping Matty Granty. Susan really was everywhere with this committee, and we're just a very dear person, a hardworking person. A tragic loss for the committee, and again, I'll just echo same sentiments one more time. We're Kent Carter, tremendous community leader and a tremendous loss to ArlDems. So thanks everyone for being here, and stick around, stuff some envelopes, meet one of our caucus chairs if you can. I think that they start locking down the garage at the quarter of, so please mix and mingle with each other and do your business. Thanks so much.